My ex-wife cheated, left with another man, then came back with his kid, and my parents wanted me to forgive her. So I changed my locks and cut them out of my life. I need to tell you about last Tuesday. Not because I'm looking for validation or advice, I've already made my decisions. But because what happened that evening made me realize something important about the difference between forgiveness and convenience. I'm 32. I work as a ceramic restoration specialist at a regional art museum. It's detail work, painstaking, quiet, the kind of job where you can lose yourself for hours piecing together fragments of 300-year-old pottery. I like it. I like the silence. I like that when something's broken, I can see exactly where the cracks are. 4 years ago, my ex-wife Bethany left me for a guy from her physical therapy clinic. His name was Owen. The affair had been going on for months before I found out. When I did, she didn't apologize, she just said she needed to explore her feelings and moved out within a week. Took half our savings. Didn't take the dog, though. Said she was starting fresh. The worst part wasn't the cheating. It was my parents. I'd expected. I don't know. Outrage? Support? Something. Instead, I got, marriage is complicated. These things happen. Maybe you should think about what drove her to that. My dad actually said I should fight for her while she was literally packing her bags into Owen's truck. They stayed in contact with her after the divorce. Birthday cards. The occasional lunch. My mom would mention it casually. Oh, I ran into Bethany at the grocery store. She seems good. Like it was normal. Like I was supposed to just be fine with it. I pulled back. Not dramatically, just gradually. Holidays only. Surface level conversations. I built a life that was mine. Bought a little 1950s bungalow, renovated it myself. Mornings are coffee on the porch. Evenings are furniture restoration projects in my garage. Weekends are hiking or reading. No chaos. No drama. Just peace. Tuesday evening, I was in the garage sanding down a vintage chair I'd picked up at an estate sale. Jazz playing low on the radio. The kind of quiet evening I'd built my entire life around. Then I heard a car door slam. Voices. I turned off the sander, walked to the front of the house. And there, standing on my porch, was Bethany. She looked different. Smaller somehow. Worn down. Her hair was longer, pulled back in a messy ponytail. And she was holding the hand of a little girl, maybe 3 years old, with dark curly hair and brown eyes. The kid looked nothing like either of us. Before I could process that, I saw the second car parked at the curb. My parents' silver sedan. My mother was already out, walking up my driveway with a casserole dish in her hands. That's when I knew this wasn't random. Sweetheart, my mom called out, smiling like this was a normal Sunday dinner. We know this is unexpected, but just hear her out. I stood in my doorway. Didn't say anything. Just waited. Bethany started talking. Owen was gone. Things hadn't worked out. She'd made mistakes, her word, mistakes, like she'd forgotten to return a library book. She was struggling now. Behind on rent. Lost her job. The little girl needed stability. We were good once, remember? She said, her voice soft. Practiced. My father stepped up beside her. She came to us first. Asked if we thought you'd be willing to talk. We said you're a reasonable man. A good man. My mother moved closer, still holding that damn casserole. That little girl needs stability, honey. Bethany's going through a hard time. You have this house, you're doing well, you could help. I looked at all three of them. Really looked. Bethany, with her carefully sad expression. My mother, with that expectant smile, already assuming I'd agree. My father, arms crossed, impatient, like I was wasting everyone's time by not immediately saying yes. And it clicked. This wasn't about Bethany deserving forgiveness. This wasn't about second chances or doing the right thing. This was about convenience. My parents didn't want to deal with her, so they brought her to me. They wanted me to absorb the problem so they could feel good about themselves without actually having to do anything. They'd done this before, I realized. 4 years ago, when she left, they tried to get me to fight for the marriage because her leaving was inconvenient for them. Messy. Uncomfortable. They didn't care that she'd betrayed me, they cared that it disrupted their comfortable narrative of having a happily married son. I felt something settle in my chest. Not anger. Just clarity. I looked at my mother. Then my father. Then Bethany. No, I said. Leave. Now. And I closed the door. Locked it. Through the window, I watched their faces change. Shock. Confusion. My mother's mouth opening to say something. Bethany starting to cry. I didn't open the door. I stood in my hallway, back against the door I'd just closed. My heart was pounding, but my hands were steady. Through the wood, I could hear them. Muffled arguing. My mother's voice, raised, he didn't even let us explain. My father, lower, angry. Bethany crying. The little girl asking something I couldn't make out. I didn't move. Didn't open the door. Just stood there, listening to them realize I wasn't coming back out. 10 minutes. That's how long they stayed. 10 minutes of voices rising and falling, car doors opening and closing, an engine starting. Then silence. I walked to my kitchen. Poured a glass of water. Sat down at the table. My hands were still steady. I wasn't angry. That was the strange part. I'd expected to feel rage, or guilt, or something. Instead, I just felt clear. Like I'd been looking at something blurry for 4 years and it had suddenly snapped into focus. I thought about the last 4 years. Every time my mom had mentioned Bethany casually over coffee. Every time my dad suggested I should let go of the past. Every holiday where they'd carefully avoided acknowledging what she'd actually done, like if we just didn't talk about it, it would stop being real. They'd never taken my side. Not once. They just wanted the mess to disappear quietly. And now they wanted me to be the solution. Take Bethany in. Fix her problems. Make their lives easier so they wouldn't have to feel guilty about not helping her themselves. I finished my water. Opened my laptop. Created a new document. Titled it, Actions. I started typing. Change locks, Wednesday. Install security cameras, Wednesday. Block all numbers, parents, extended family, Bethany. Email lawyer, Thursday. Update emergency contacts, remove parents. Update will/beneficiaries, remove parents. I stared at the list. This wasn't revenge. This was protection. There's a difference. Around 9 o'clock, my phone rang. Mom. I watched it buzz on the table. Let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, Dad called. Voicemail. A text from Mom appeared. We need to talk about this like adults. You can't just shut us out. I read it. Didn't respond. Went into my phone settings and blocked both numbers. 5 minutes later, another text. My aunt, Dad's sister, your mother called me crying. What happened? Call me. I blocked her number too. Then an unknown number. This is cruel. That little girl needs help. You're being selfish. My mom, using someone else's phone. I took a screenshot. Opened a folder on my computer, titled it Documentation, dropped the screenshot in. Then blocked the number. This was going to be a pattern, I realized. They weren't going to accept no. They were going to push and push, finding new ways to get around my boundaries, because they genuinely believed I was being unreasonable. In their minds, I was the problem. Not Bethany for cheating. Not them for enabling her. Me, for refusing to fix a mess I didn't create. Fine. Let them push. I'd document every attempt. I went to bed around 11. Slept better than I had in months. Wednesday morning, I was drinking coffee at my kitchen table when I saw headlights pull up outside. 6:35 a.m. My parents' car. I watched through the window as they got out. My dad walked up to the porch first, knocked on the door. Firm, deliberate knocks. The kind that said we need to talk right now. I stayed in the kitchen. Didn't move. My mom came up beside him. She cupped her hands against the front window, trying to peer inside. I was just out of her line of sight. If I moved, she'd see me. I stayed perfectly still. More knocking. My dad tried the doorknob, still locked, obviously. Come on, I heard him say, muffled through the glass. We know you're in there. I sipped my coffee. Said nothing. They stood there for 5 minutes. 5 long minutes of knocking and calling out and trying to look through windows. Then finally, my dad threw up his hands, said something sharp to my mom, and they walked back to the car. I watched them drive away. Then I picked up my phone and called the locksmith. How soon can you get here? I asked. I can be there by 10, he said. Perfect. I hung up. Opened my laptop. Searched for security camera systems. Found one with live feed to my phone and cloud storage backup. Added it to cart. Checked out. Express shipping. By the time I left for work at 8, I'd already blocked 6 more numbers, cousins, family friends, people I hadn't talked to in years suddenly very concerned about my well-being. My phone buzzed with a new voicemail notification. Unknown number. I didn't listen to it. Just deleted it and blocked the number. At lunch, I sat in my car in the museum parking lot and sent an email to my lawyer, the guy who'd handled my divorce 4 years ago. Need consultation. Ex-wife and parents attempting unwanted contact after I refused to help her. Need cease and desist letters drafted. Available to meet this week. He responded within an hour, can meet Friday morning 9 a.m. Document everything. Screenshots, recordings, anything. I smiled. Already ahead of him. Thursday at work was normal. I spent 6 hours piecing together fragments of an 18th century serving platter. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. My phone stayed on silent. By the end of the day, I had 12 missed calls from unknown numbers. I blocked them all without listening to the voicemails. That evening, I opened my documentation folder. 23 screenshots now. Text messages, missed call logs, voicemails transcribed by my phone's auto feature. All saved. All backed up to the cloud. Friday morning, I walked into my lawyer's office at exactly 9. He looked at my documentation folder, printed out, organized chronologically with notes, and let out a low whistle. "You don't mess around," he said. "No," I said. "I don't." We spent an hour going over everything. He asked questions. I answered calmly, factually. No emotion. Just information. "You're well within your rights," he finally said. "You're not married to her. You have no legal obligation to help. Your parents have no legal claim to access to you. We'll draft cease and desist letters to all three. Clear language, no contact, no showing up at your residence or workplace. Violations will result in restraining orders and trespassing charges." "How long?" I asked. "Letters go out certified mail Monday." I paid the retainer. $800. Worth every penny. The weekend was quiet. I worked in my garage, finishing the chair I'd been sanding Tuesday night. My phone buzzed occasionally, more unknown numbers. I didn't answer. Just cleared the notifications without looking. Saturday afternoon, my front porch camera sent a motion alert to my phone. I'd installed the system Wednesday afternoon, 2 cameras, front and back, recording to cloud storage. I opened the app. My parents' car in my driveway. They walked up, knocked on my door. Waited. Knocked again. I was at the hardware store buying sandpaper. Watched the whole thing on my phone. After 4 minutes, they left. They didn't see the camera. Sunday, I did yard work. Mowed the lawn, trimmed the bushes. Visible from the street. Not hiding. Just done engaging. Monday evening, I was cooking dinner, stir-fry, simple, when my doorbell rang. I checked the camera first. A guy in a polo shirt with a clipboard. Process server. The cease and desist letters had been delivered. My phone started buzzing immediately. Unknown number. Another. 7 calls in 10 minutes. I watched the notifications appear and disappear on my screen. Didn't answer a single one. I plated my dinner, sat at my kitchen table, and ate in complete silence. My phone buzzed twice more. I turned it face down and kept eating. Week 2 started quiet. Tuesday, 3 calls from unknown numbers. Wednesday, 1. Thursday, none. I went to work, restored a 17th century Portuguese tile panel, came home. My routine didn't change. The camera showed my parents drove by once Thursday evening, slowed down in front of my house, didn't stop, kept going. I didn't feel victorious. Just relieved. Like I'd been bracing for an impact that never came. Friday morning, I opened my email before work. Subject line, from Dad, please read. I stared at it for a moment. Hovered the cursor over it. Then moved it to trash without opening it. I set up an email filter. All emails from both parents go directly to a folder I'd never check. Out of sight. Out of mind. At lunch, my phone buzzed. Text from my cousin Iris, the only family member I actually liked. She was my age, worked as a physical therapist, ironically, and had always been the black sheep of the family for getting divorced and moving 3 states away. "Hey, heard there was family drama. You okay?" I typed back, "I'm fine. Set some boundaries." Some people didn't take it well. Her response came immediately. "Good for you honestly. Your parents called my mom complaining. Whole family's talking about it. Let them talk. Doesn't change anything. That's the spirit. If you need an alibi or a character witness, I'm your girl." I smiled at that. Sent back a thumbs up. At least someone got it. The weekend passed. I hiked 10 miles Saturday, worked on a dresser restoration Sunday. My phone stayed quiet. No unknown numbers. No drive-bys on the cameras. Maybe they were actually listening. Monday of week 3 shattered that illusion. I was on my lunch break at work, eating a sandwich in my car, when my phone rang. Museum security. "Hey, we've got someone here in the lobby asking for you," The guard said. His name was Maurice. Good guy, retired cop. Says she's your ex-wife. Should we let her up? My jaw tightened. No. She's not authorized. If she doesn't leave, call the police. Copy that. I hung up. Sat there for a moment, staring at nothing. She'd come to my workplace. After the cease and desist letter explicitly said not to contact me. After everything. 10 minutes later, Maurice called back. She left. Didn't make a fuss, just looked sad and walked out. Thanks, Maurice. Can you make a note in the system? If she shows up again, don't call me first, just call the cops. Already done. Added her description to the security log. After work, I stopped by HR. Explained the situation calmly, factually. My ex-spouse may attempt unauthorized contact. She showed up today. Security handled it, but I want it on record that she's not welcome here and shouldn't be allowed access. The HR rep, a woman named Gloria I'd worked with for 3 years, nodded seriously. We'll add her to the restricted visitors list. If she shows up again, we'll handle it. You shouldn't have to deal with this at work. Thank you. I drove home feeling that same cold clarity I'd felt 2 weeks ago standing in my hallway. Every boundary I set, they tested. Every line I drew, they crossed. Fine. I'd keep drawing lines. Eventually, they'd run out of ways to reach me. Wednesday, a card arrived in my mailbox. I recognized my mother's handwriting on the envelope before I even opened it. Postmarked 6 days ago, sent before the cease and desist letter arrived. Inside, a Hallmark card with flowers on the front. Her handwriting inside. Your father had a health scare last week. Heart palpitations. He's fine now, but it reminded us that life is short. Family is important. We love you. Please reconsider. Mom. I read it once. No emotion. If it had been serious, they would have called 911, not used it as leverage in a greeting card. I tore the card in half. Threw it in the trash. Thursday was quiet. Friday, I thought maybe I'd turned a corner. Maybe the cease and desist letters had actually worked. Maybe I could just move on. Friday evening, I was walking to my car after work. The museum parking lot was mostly empty, just a few cars left. Mine was in the back corner, where I always parked under the oak tree. A woman approached from between 2 cars. Mid-50s, blonde hair going gray, floral blouse. Vaguely familiar, though I couldn't place her. Excuse me, she called out. Are you? She said my name. I stopped. Kept my distance. Who's asking? She smiled, but it looked nervous. Forced. I'm Bethany's mother. Patricia. She told me you work here. I just wanted to talk to you, parent to parent. I'm not a parent. I cut her off. My voice was flat. Final. I have nothing to discuss with you. Don't contact me again. I got in my car, locked the doors. She stood there, mouth open, looking stunned. I backed out, drove past her. In my rearview mirror, I saw her pull out her phone. Calling Bethany, probably. Or my parents. Telling them I was being difficult or refusing to listen to reason. I drove home, parked in my driveway, walked inside. My phone buzzed as I was setting my keys down. Unknown number. I blocked it without looking at who it was. Then I sat on my couch and realized something. They weren't going to stop. Not because the cease and desist letters didn't work. They were going to stop because the letters worked, because there were consequences now, legal ones, and they knew I'd follow through. But they needed one more push. One more test to see if I'd actually do it. I opened my laptop. Emailed my lawyer. Ex-wife's mother approached me in my workplace parking lot today. Parents sent a manipulative card about a health scare. Ex-wife showed up at my workplace Monday. They're still attempting contact. What are my options? His response came 20 minutes later. That's harassment. We can escalate to restraining orders. I'll start the paperwork. Can you come in Monday morning? I'll be there. I closed my laptop. Made dinner. Ate in silence. That night, I slept fine. No anxiety. No second guessing. Just the knowledge that I was doing exactly what needed to be done. Saturday morning, I was having coffee on my porch when my phone rang. Iris. Hey, she said when I answered. I need to tell you something. Your mom's been calling everyone in the family. She's saying you threatened her. That you're having some kind of breakdown. I took a sip of coffee. Of course she is. She's trying to organize an intervention. This weekend. At your aunt's house. They're planning to ambush you. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not fear. Just recognition. This was their next move. When? Tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock. Thanks for the warning. You're not going, right? No, I said. I'm not going. I hung up. Sat there for a moment, looking at my quiet street, my peaceful house, my carefully rebuilt life. Then I picked up my phone and texted my lawyer. They're planning an ambush intervention. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. I won't be there, but I need advice on how to handle this. His response was immediate. Do not go. If they show up at your property, call police immediately, restraining order violations. I'll have the paperwork ready Monday. This escalates things in your favor. I set my phone down. Looked at my coffee. And I realized I wasn't scared at all. I was just done. Sunday, 2 o'clock came and went. I was at home, in my garage, refinishing a vintage dresser I'd picked up the week before. Sanding by hand, headphones in, listening to nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing and the scrape of sandpaper on wood. My phone was on the workbench, face up. I watched it periodically. No calls. No texts. Around 3:30, Iris texted, "They're still at my aunt's house. Your mom's crying. My mom keeps saying he'll come around. I told them you weren't coming. They didn't believe me." I didn't respond. Just read it and set the phone back down. 4 o'clock, "I think they're finally realizing you're serious. Your dad just left. Slammed the door on his way out." I kept sanding. 5 o'clock, "Everyone's leaving now. Your mom's telling people you've changed. That you're not the son she raised." My mom tried to hug her. It was awkward. I finished the dresser. Wiped it down. Applied the first coat of stain. 6 o'clock, "For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. They wanted you there so they could gang up on you and wear you down. You didn't give them the chance. That's smart, not cruel." I finally responded. "Thanks. Appreciate you keeping me in the loop. Anytime. Stay strong." I showered. Made dinner. Ate on my back porch watching the sunset. Everything was quiet. That night, I slept like a rock. Monday morning, I woke up at 6. Made coffee. Opened my front door to let some air in before it got too hot. There was an envelope taped to the door. I checked my camera footage. 6:17 a.m. My mother's car, pulling up slowly. She got out, walked quickly to my porch, taped something to the door, hurried back. Gone in 40 seconds. I didn't open the envelope. Just peeled it off the door, got in my car, and drove straight to my lawyer's office. He didn't have appointments until 9, but I waited in the parking lot. When he arrived at 8:30, I was standing by his car. "They left this on my door this morning," I said, handing him the envelope. I didn't open it. He took it, looked at the camera timestamp I'd screenshotted on my phone. "This is a violation of the cease and desist terms. They're not supposed to contact you at all." "I know." He opened the envelope. "Read the letter inside." His expression didn't change, but I saw his jaw tighten. "It's your mother," he said. "Begging you to reconsider. Says your father's health is declining from the stress. Says you're tearing the family apart." He looked up at me. "It's manipulative as hell. Can we file for a restraining order now?" "Yes. I'll start the paperwork today. Should be filed by end of week." Good. I went to work. Tried to focus on a delicate repair job, a hairline crack in a 19th century vase. My hands were steady, but my mind kept drifting. Around 10, my boss, a guy named Raymond who'd been running the museum's restoration department for 20 years, knocked on my workstation door. "Hey, got a minute?" I set down my tools. "Sure." He closed the door behind him. Sat down. "Got a weird call this morning. Woman claiming to be your mother. Said you're having a mental health crisis and asked if we'd noticed any concerning behavior." My jaw clenched. "What did you say?" I told her we don't discuss employees with non-emergency contacts and hung up. He paused. "But, you okay? Is there something going on I should know about?" I took a breath. I cut off some toxic family members a few weeks ago. Set boundaries they didn't like. Now they're trying to get around those boundaries by contacting my workplace. I've got a lawyer involved. There's nothing wrong with me, they're just upset they can't control the situation. Raymond nodded slowly. "I've seen this before. My sister went through something similar with her ex. People get desperate when they lose access." He stood up. "If anyone else calls, I won't engage. And if they show up here, security will handle it. You shouldn't have to deal with this at work. Thank you." After he left, I called my lawyer from my car during lunch. "They contacted my employer," I said. "Claimed I'm having a mental health crisis. Tried to get my boss to confirm concerning behavior. Silence on the other end. Then, that's harassment. Potentially defamation. This pushes us past cease and desist territory. We're filing for restraining orders today. All 3 of them, your parents and your ex-wife. How long until they're served? Temporary orders by Friday. Court hearing in 3 weeks for permanent orders. Do it. Friday afternoon, I got the notification. Temporary restraining orders approved. Process server scheduled for Saturday morning. I didn't feel victorious. Just tired. Like I'd been carrying something heavy for weeks and could finally set it down. Saturday morning, I made coffee and sat on my couch with my laptop, camera feeds open on the screen. 9:15 a.m. A sedan pulled up. Different guy, different clipboard. He walked to my parents' front door. I'd given my lawyer their address. My father answered. The server handed him papers, said something I couldn't hear. My dad looked down at the documents. His face went red. He crumpled the papers in his fist, shouted something, and threw them on the ground. The server didn't flinch. Just picked them up, knocked again, and when my dad slammed the door, he put them in the mailbox. Got back in his car. Left, professional. By the book. The restraining order was served. Sunday morning, I decided to test it. 9:30 a.m. I made coffee and sat on my front porch. Visible from the street. Not hiding. Just existing in my own space. At 9:50, my parents' car drove by. They slowed down. I looked up. Made direct eye contact with my mother through the passenger window. She looked like she'd aged 5 years and 3 weeks. Her face was pale, drawn. Makeup didn't quite hide the dark circles under her eyes. My father was driving. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight his knuckles were white. His jaw was set, teeth probably clenched. We stared at each other for 3 seconds. Then they kept driving. Didn't stop. Didn't pull over. The restraining order worked. I took a sip of my coffee. Watched them disappear around the corner. Felt nothing. Monday morning, I was at my desk at work when my phone rang. Iris. Hey, she said. Her voice sounded off. Strained. What's wrong? Your mom called me last night. She's not doing well. She's telling everyone you're dangerous. That you threatened her. That the restraining orders are proof you're unstable. She paused. She's trying to build a case that you're having a breakdown so she can get the orders dismissed. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. Not fear. Just recognition. She's rewriting history, I said. Yeah. And people are believing her. My mom, your aunt, half the family. They think you've snapped. What do you think? I think you finally stood up for yourself and they can't handle it, she sighed. But I wanted you to know what she's saying. In case it matters. It matters. Thanks. I hung up. Sat there for a moment. Then I opened my email and typed to my lawyer, my mother is telling extended family I threatened her and that I'm dangerous. She's trying to discredit me to get the restraining orders dismissed. I have no idea what her next move is, but I need to be prepared. His response came 5 minutes later. Document everything. Record any interactions. Do not engage with her or anyone acting on her behalf. If she files any counter motions, we'll respond with evidence. You're doing everything right. Stay the course. I closed my laptop. Looked out my window at the museum grounds. Everything was peaceful. Normal, but I had a feeling the storm wasn't over yet. The storm came Tuesday. I was at work, cataloging a new acquisition, a set of ceramic tiles from a demolished Victorian mansion, when my phone buzzed. Security again. We've got a situation, Maurice said. Your parents are in the lobby. They're insisting they need to speak with you about a family emergency. I closed my eyes. Took a breath. There's a restraining order. They're not supposed to be here. I know. I told them that. They're saying the order doesn't apply to emergency situations and that you'll want to hear this. It's not an emergency. Call the police. I'll be down in 5 minutes to give a statement. Copy that. I saved my work, locked my office, and headed downstairs. My hands weren't shaking. My heart wasn't racing. I just felt that same cold clarity I'd been carrying for 3 weeks now. When I got to the lobby, 2 police officers were already there. My parents were standing near the entrance, my mother crying, my father red-faced and argumentative. A family emergency. He was saying. We have the right, sir, there's a restraining order, one of the officers said calmly. You don't have the right to be here. My mother saw me. Please, she called out. Your grandmother fell. She's in the hospital. She's asking for you. I looked at the officer closest to me. May I speak with you privately? We stepped to the side. I kept my voice low. My grandmother died 6 years ago. This is a fabrication. They're in violation of a temporary restraining order filed last week. I have documentation." The officer nodded. Walked back to my parents. "We're going to need you to leave now. If you don't leave voluntarily, you'll be arrested for trespassing and violation of a court order." My father started to argue. The officer held up a hand. "Sir, this is your last warning." They left. My mother looked back at me once as they walked out. I didn't look away. Just watched them go. I gave my statement. Signed paperwork. Maurice added another note to my file. "Sorry you're dealing with this," he said. "Not your fault." I went back to work. Emailed my lawyer with the incident report number. He responded within the hour. "This helps our case significantly. Court date is set for next Friday, 10 a.m. Permanent restraining orders should be a straightforward approval given the pattern of violations." Wednesday was quiet. Thursday too. I started to think maybe the police involvement had finally convinced them to back off. Friday evening, I was grocery shopping. Small store, 2 blocks from my house. I was in the produce section when I saw her, Bethany. She was at the other end of the aisle, holding a basket. When she saw me, she froze. I didn't say anything. Just took out my phone and started recording video. Held it at chest level, camera pointed in her direction. She set down her basket and walked toward me. I stepped back, keeping distance. "Please don't," she said. "I just need 2 minutes. That's all." "You're violating a restraining order," I said, voice flat. "Leave now or I'm calling the police." "I didn't know you'd be here. Doesn't matter. You see me, you leave. That's how restraining orders work." She stood there for a moment. People were starting to stare. Then she turned and walked out of the store, leaving her basket on the floor. I stopped recording. Checked the footage, clear video, clear audio, timestamp visible. Sent it to my lawyer immediately. His response: "Perfect. This is Exhibit C for the hearing." I finished my shopping. Drove home. Unloaded groceries. My phone rang. "Iris. Your mom just called my mom," she said without preamble. "She's telling everyone you filed fake restraining orders to cut them off from their grandchildren." "I don't have children." "I know that. You know that. But she's spinning this whole narrative that you're keeping your family away from your kids." My mom was confused, asked what kids, and your mom said Bethany's daughter like you'd adopted her or something. I sat down at my kitchen table. "She's delusional, she's desperate," Iris corrected. "The court hearing is next week, right?" "Friday." "She's trying to drum up support. Get people to show up and testify that you're the bad guy. That you're unstable. Let her try. I'm just warning you. She's really committed to this version of events. I don't think she even realizes she's lying anymore. She's convinced herself you're the villain." After we hung up, I sat there for a while, thinking. It didn't matter what story she told herself. The court would see documentation. Police reports. Video evidence. Timestamps and screenshots and recorded violations. The truth wasn't up for debate. The week passed slowly. I went to work. Came home. Lived my life. Wednesday, my lawyer called. "Heads up, your mother filed a counter motion. Claims you're mentally unstable and the restraining orders are a result of a psychological episode." "Based on what evidence?" "Based on nothing. She references your erratic behavior and sudden personality change but provides zero documentation. It's a Hail Mary. Judge will see right through it." "So we're good?" "We're excellent. I'll see you Friday at 9:30. We'll go over everything before the hearing." Thursday night, I laid out my clothes for court. Business casual, slacks, button-down shirt, tie. I organized my documentation folder. Charged my phone. Set 3 alarms. I wasn't nervous. Just ready. Friday morning, I woke up at 6. Made coffee. Ate breakfast. Drove to the courthouse. Met my lawyer in the lobby at 9:30. He walked me through the process. It's straightforward. Judge reviews the evidence, hears from both sides if they show up, makes a ruling. Given the documented violations, this should be a formality. Will they be there? They can be. It's a public hearing. He paused. Are you ready if they are? Yes. We walked into the courtroom at 9:55. The room was small. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, about 20 seats for observers. My parents were sitting in the front row. And next to my mother, wearing a black dress and heels, was Bethany. All 3 of them, together, waiting. My lawyer leaned in and whispered, "Don't react. Don't engage. We have everything we need." I nodded. Took my seat. The bailiff called the case number. And the judge looked up, directly at me, and said, "I've reviewed the documentation submitted by both parties. Before we proceed, does the petitioner wish to make an opening statement?" My lawyer stood. "Yes, Your Honor." Behind me, I heard my mother whisper something to Bethany. I kept my eyes forward. This was it. The moment where everything either held together or fell apart. My lawyer kept it simple. "Your Honor, the petitioner seeks permanent restraining orders against 3 respondents due to a pattern of harassment, boundary violations, and continued unwanted contact despite multiple clear rejections and a cease and desist letter." He walked through the timeline methodically. Screenshots. Police reports. Security footage. The grocery store video. The workplace incidents. The letter taped to my door. The judge reviewed each piece in silence. Then she looked at my parents. "Does the defense wish to respond?" My father stood. "No lawyer. Your Honor, our son is going through a mental health crisis. We're his parents. We have a right to check on him." "Do you have documentation of this alleged mental health crisis?" the judge asked. "He's cut off his entire family. That's not normal behavior. Not liking one's family isn't a mental illness, sir. Do you have medical records, psychiatric evaluations, anything substantive?" My father faltered. "Well, no, but..." "Then sit down." He sat. The judge turned to Bethany. "You're the ex-wife?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Why did you approach him in a grocery store after being served a cease and desist?" "I just wanted to apologize. I didn't think..." "You didn't think that cease all contact meant cease all contact?" Bethany said nothing. The judge looked back at her paperwork. 30 seconds of silence. Then she set down her pen. "I'm granting permanent restraining orders for all 3 respondents. 3-year duration. No contact, direct or indirect. No third-party contact. Violations will result in arrest." She looked at my parents. "Your son is an adult. He's made his boundaries clear. You don't get to override those boundaries because you disagree with them." My mother started crying. The judge ignored it. "This court is adjourned." I stood. Shook my lawyer's hand. Walked out of the courtroom without looking back. Behind me, I heard my mother say something to my father. I didn't stop to hear what. In the parking lot, my lawyer clapped me on the shoulder. "That's it. You're done. They contact you again, call the police. The order's in the system now." "Thank you. You did the hard part. Most people cave. You didn't." I drove home. Unlocked my door. Set my keys on the counter, and I realized it was over. Not just the hearing. All of it. 3 months later, I'm sitting on my back deck on a Saturday morning. Coffee in hand. Sun coming up over the neighbor's fence. My phone buzzes. "Iris, FYI, your mom stopped calling my mom. Thinks she finally gave up." "Good," I type back. "How are you doing?" "Honestly? Great. And I mean it. The restraining orders haven't been tested. No violations. No attempts. Iris heard through the family grapevine that my parents stopped going to church. Too many questions from people who'd heard their side and wanted details they couldn't provide. Bethany moved 2 hours away, living with some new guy she met online. It lasted a month. Now she's with her parents. I don't feel satisfaction hearing that. I don't feel vindicated. I just feel nothing. The healthiest kind of nothing. Work is good. I finished restoration on a 15th century Persian tile last week. The museum director said it was some of my best work. I'm teaching a community workshop next month on furniture restoration. 12 people signed up. Last weekend, I went camping with Theo, my friend from college, the contractor. We hiked 8 miles, caught fish, cooked them over a fire. Didn't talk about family drama once. Just existed. It was perfect. I updated my emergency contacts. Removed my parents, added Theo and Iris. Updated my will, everything goes to charity now. The Arts Education Fund and a domestic violence shelter. Not out of spite. They're just not my family anymore. Family isn't blood. It's who shows up. Who respects you. Who doesn't treat your boundaries like suggestions. Yesterday, I was leaving work when I saw someone who looked like my mother from behind. Same hair, same build. For a second, I felt my chest tighten. Then she turned around. Different person entirely. And I realized something. I wasn't afraid. I was just cautious. Alert. The same way you're careful around fire after you've been burned. That's not trauma. That's learning. This morning, I woke up and realized I'd slept through the night without waking once. No anxiety. No anger. No what ifs, just peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you chose yourself when everyone else wanted you to choose their comfort. I spent 4 years thinking something was wrong with me for not being able to move on the way my parents wanted. But I had moved on. I just moved on in a direction they didn't approve of. They wanted me to absorb the inconvenience, smooth over the mess, make their lives easier. I'd finally said no. Not with drama. Not with speeches or confrontations or burning bridges with some grand gesture. Just no. And then consequences. I close the door. Change the locks. Protect my peace. People call that cold. I call it self-respect. I finish my coffee. Check my phone. Theo texted about plans next weekend, another camping trip, different trail. I'm in, I type back. I have a life. A peaceful one. Built on my own terms. No one's coming to my door with problems that aren't mine to solve. No one's guilting me into situations I don't want. My boundaries are intact. My peace is protected. 4 years ago, Bethany walked out and my parents stayed neutral. They made their choice. 3 months ago, when she came back, I made mine. I chose me. And I'd do it again every single time. I stand up, stretch, and walk back inside my house. My small, quiet, perfectly peaceful house. The door closes behind me with a solid click. And I smile, because I finally understand. Saying no to people who treat you like a convenience isn't cruelty. It's strength. And I'm stronger than I've ever been. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.